Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am grateful for all of you who came to see a crypto show because crypto is grateful for crypto people. And I am grateful that I have people to come watch crypto stuff. I'm just talking circles. This is how I'm going to do it from now on. I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to run for president, and I'm going to sort of talk in circles about nothing because I'm grateful to the crypto people. Guys, welcome. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's Friday. We got green markets on the daily. We're getting a little bit of red on the hourly, but I will point out that we did hit that key level that I was talking to you guys about yesterday, right there, that 200-day simple moving average, getting a rejection off of it for a second time. I thought we were going to be going back up to that. I talked about that yesterday with Buck in our trade community. He said, I missed my short. I said, I think you got another chance, man. Just have patience. It's going to come back. We'll find out if he did that. But talking about crypto people that I'm grateful for, let's go ahead and bring up the team and stuff right after we roll this roll. Let's get back to it, guys. Class in session. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show today. It is the Trade Fly. It is the OC guy. They are grateful for people that are in crypto because crypto people are grateful to have crypto. I'm on a kick today. Trade Fly. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? It's good to be here. Happy Friday to everyone. Hope everyone is green with their trades going on right now. But I'm gonna give a little shout out to everyone that's in the chat real quick here. Username, what's up, my dude? How you doing? Kyle Fields with a yo, Ninja Glock, Alexander G, best mod in the house, BC Port Corp. Check out their show in the morning. Crypto Crags in here. Eric, Ballin, Walden, Trade, Intuition, Joe. Go check out his channel. He's doing big things. I think he's got his internet back up and running, so that's good to hear. Harp, how you doing? Average Crypto, Joe, DB Cooper, Museum of Corruption, Max H, and D Dusty Hunt. Justin Eubanks, yo, how you doing? And bye yes with Louis B wrapping it up. Just want to say what's up to everybody. Hope everyone is doing great this morning. And I am ready. I am ready to talk some news. I am ready to talk some crypto because, like Piper said, we are sitting at a very key level of resistance. And, I think a few of us have been talking about it. I haven't watched too many other crypto guys here recently, but, I know me and Piper, we're thinking the same thing. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a pullback before we ultimately see another move up. So
yeah, and I'm waiting for that. That's my strike spot. I'm sitting in my sniper's nest right now, just scoping on the price.
Unfortunately, I think this is like scalp season for shorts. And the reason it is because as it moves up, it's like resistance, key level of resistance, key level of resistance. I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I think there's a couple scalp, opportunities there for the taking. We'll see.
Absolutely, yeah. I know Alex O's been rocking some good scalp trades on these levels. So, but OC, you've been getting some good trades in too. What are you up to, man? How you doing? It's Friday. How you feeling? And are you grateful? Are you grateful for crypto people that are grateful for crypto and people?
Absolutely, because crypto wouldn't be crypto without its people, right?
That's right.
Man, that is just hilarious. I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward for Friday. Today, my fiance is going for a party with her friends, so I have the house all for me. So I'm gonna full pack my fridge with beers. So that's what I was looking forward. And I think I'm gonna be doing some late night trading. I am bearish. I am a little bit bearish here. I don't think that it's gonna go that bad to the downside. Still, it just hit into my short box in here, and I am willing to enter a box in the next upcoming retest. Why? Because I lost my opportunity on the first entry. I was asleep. And well, then nothing to do there. Whenever it's gone, and then you just wait for the next opportunity. But other than that, I really hope that we get a little bit of a pullback throughout the weekend, especially Sunday, and that is just to keep a healthy market moving onwards. And that's what I want to see for Pumptober, because despite everything looking bearish, well then, Pumped over might be getting us somewhere around 73. I don't know, 75, something like around those areas. That's what I'm looking forward. And we need to start breaking some stuff right now before we move into pumped over.
I
But
agree.
other than that, we have a couple of bearish divergences, which are pretty scary. But yeah, turning it back to
Yeah, and
you.
we're gonna be looking at all those charts. Shout out to Florence. He said, "Good morning," and good morning to you too. And then username asked, "What's in that coffee?" Bailey's. It's Friday. It's Bailey's and creamer. But the reason that I had the opening I had is because literally before we got started, I watched a video on X. Maybe I'll show it to you. It was it just makes your brain hurt to watch it. So I don't want to hurt no one's brain. So
Y'all
maybe
see
I'll
this?
skip it.
Look at this.
What
Look
is
at that
that?
nice cream on top. Oh, it's so good.
It's coffee, man. It's Coffee Friday and charts. Let's get into it, guys. Let's go talk about the news. I want to talk about that first because yesterday we had Bank of Japan rates that came out. They did their rate decision. And it was as Blackie Chan, BC Port Corp, on the morning show, Good Morning Crypto, they talked about it. He said it looked like it was going to be December. They did not do anything, but they had some pretty nasty inflation numbers. We're going to take a look at those, guys. Take a look at what's coming up next week, and then we'll dig into the chart. So let's jump over and do the news. Brought to you, as always, by Decrypted.tax, guys. Thanks for joining us here this morning for the news. Let's get into it and talk about all of this stuff. Fear and greed. Let's give this a refresh. Let's jump in there and break this stuff down. That's why you guys come here. 2.27, not real chip of change, about 0.7% there in the last 24 hours. But yesterday we were at 2.7 anyway. So that's interesting to see. But look, guys, look what happens. Market cap's up, green. Look at that big volume drop, right? And that's what I said you got to watch for when you are looking at the price action when it's moving to the upside. If this volume doesn't really match it, it's weak. We are sitting back in greed. It would make sense that we get a little bit of a pullback. 54 greed off of that pump, and now we're pulling back, right? That you can almost just trade the greed indicator, I'm saying. Looking here, guys, at the crypto bubbles on the hourly, getting a lot of red. Matter of fact, I'm looking right now, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ all on CNBC right now telling us they are all red in the opening also. Here on the daily, we still have some green, but throughout the day, this is going to start to disappear as this comes into place. Let's jump down here and see what we got. Bitcoin currently coming in at about 62,840, down on the daily, down on the hourly. Ethereum is up on the daily still, but this is because it had a later move and it's the past 24 hours. Give it a little while, that'll reset too. They are currently, Ethereum currently sitting at $2, 2,053. I wish $2, $2,533. Numbers are hard today, evidently. There is too much Bailey's in this coffee. BNB is at 568 right now, up about a 1% on the daily. But you can see pretty much everything, guys, coming down on the hourly. We're going to look at all of this stuff. Let us know today what you would like to see in the charts. In the chat in OC, we'll make sure that's in the list and we'll get that out to you there. Ton coin down on the daily and the hourly right now. Let's check this top 20. Any big movers? 5.9% to the upside on Avalanche. Sui. Shout out to Eric Wallen. Sui is up 13.5%, moving 3 positions into number 22. That's not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's jump over here and talk about this. Because right now, let's look at next week first. Actually, we're going to look at now. We're going to do this. We're going to bring this up. We're going to do this week. There we go. And then I want to add Japan on this list, and we'll show you guys what happened with Japan last night. I would not want to be in the boat in Japan's situation right now as a monetary financial policy maker. That's for sure. So let's look here. We're looking at Thursday. This is the Thursday date. This is yesterday. All this data came out. Can I move you to Japan only? That would actually help me. United States turned off. I turned it off. All right, there we go. Looking here at Japan yesterday, guys, their inflation rate year over year, okay, was expected to be, oh, whoa, sir, thank you, was expected to be, it was projected to be 3%. Here we go, I got it, 3%. Previously, it was at 2.8%, up 0.2%. Their inflation rate automatically out the gate year over year higher. Their core inflation was projected to be 2.8%, was previously 2.7, came in neutral, what they expected, but still higher than what it previously was. So there's 2 points of higher inflation. Inflation rate excluding food and energy was expected to be 1.9%, came in higher. Inflation rate month over month expected to be 0.3%, came in at 0.5%. Okay, was previously at 0.2. So they already expected it to be a little bit higher, came in higher. Their foreign bond investment, guys. This is how much of their money is going into foreign bonds. It was down 216.5 billion the previous month. It is now 2,100 billion. That, guys, that's 2.1 trillion dollars right there that they are grabbing up of foreign bonds, meaning they're losing some faith in their valuation of their money, and they're trying to hedge with other foreign investments. Stock investments by foreigners, look at that, minus that's not dollars, that's yen, but my bad. Minus on that, it is 3 point over 300 trillion 3,000 billion yen. There you go. Negative to the downside. Why? Because foreigners do not want to be in something that's raising the rates. And then, of course, as we talked about, they did do their 25 basis points on their rate decision, pausing. That's what they were already at. So I would not want to be in their boat. Their inflation pretty much broke levels of expectations or previous months on every single front that they did. So I do think December we see another rate hike from the Bank of Japan. Let's get back over to ours though and see what we're seeing there. Turn off Japan, turn on the United States, save that. Let's go to the 2, and then let's look at next week and see what we're seeing there because this is going to be important data for next week, guys. Monday, September 23rd, we're going to have the S&P manufacturing PMI. That stuff's going to be coming in. Lots of speeches. Fed's back to speaking again. They're out of their blackout window. Tuesday, we're going to get CB consumer confidence. This is going to give us an idea of how people are feeling about the economy. And you can see from the previous, some are less, some are more. That's 50-50 again. We're flip a coin. That seems to be the trend of our economy lately. Wednesday, we're going to get those new home sales and new home sales month over month. That is expected to be down a lot. You can see previously it was up 10.6%. They're expecting it to be down 5.1%. That would be a 15% change there on new home sales. And then Thursday, we're going to get GDP growth rate. That is expected. It was at 1.4 previously, expected to be 3%. Of course, we all know none of these numbers, all these numbers are made up and none of them matter anyways, but it's still what the baseline is of the sentiment for the investing world. So durable goods orders expected to be way down, guys. Remember, this is a sign of the economy's strength, the demand, right? Expected to be way down. Durable goods orders excluding transport. Initial jobless claims, we're going to get that on Thursday next week. That is a weekly report that comes out. And then PCE. You guys remember this one? This is the one that is the most important piece of data the Federal Reserve looks at besides unemployment when it comes to their rate cut decisions. This is the key indicator of inflation, and right now expected to be neutral. So be keeping an eye on that one next week. Guys, I do want to point out here on, take a look here. But wait, there's more. If we look at the CME group for the predictions, this is for November rate decision. They're actually now about a 40% chance that we will see another 50 basis point rate cut right now. We're going to be keeping an eye on this every day. We don't have one in October. This is all the way in the first week of November. So we're going to watch and see how this plays out. But as of right now, 40% chance of a 50 basis point rate cut going on there. And then lastly, let's jump over here, guys. MicroStrategy back in the news, raising $1.01 billion for Bitcoin acquisitions. MicroStrategy completes a $1 billion convertible note offering, allocating proceeds for a Bitcoin purchase and debt repayment. So MicroStrategy Incorporated has completed an approximately $1.01 billion offering. The private offering, which concluded on September 9th, targeted institutional investors and enabled the conversion into cash or MicroStrategy stock. They plan to use part of the funds to redeem $500 million in senior secured notes, releasing collateral including 69,080 Bitcoin. So, yeah, they're buying more. That's what they do. MicroStrategy. Oh, hey, hey, there's a trio. Well, there we go. So yeah, we're getting Bitcoin, more Bitcoin for MicroStrategies. We made it past the Bank of Japan this week. That's a good thing, and we got some data next week that's important, but nothing catastrophic next week. So it should be a decently clear selling week, unless we just get one of those numbers comes in and just destroys everything, destroys the rail. But right now, I'm not seeing anything that is screaming run for the hills. So, TradeFly, what are your thoughts on next week? And how do you think it's going to play out going into the next week and stuff like that?
Oh, you believe the numbers?
No, I said they're all made
Okay.
up and nothing matters anyways.
Yeah, I was just checking, asking for a friend.
Asking for a
I
friend.
will. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, dude. I don't know that we have much of a a precursor here to kind of make any judgment on what the numbers are going to be, besides what they're telling us in terms of forecast, right? So we'll see how that plays out. All we can do is wait for those numbers to come out that are going to be notional and will change, and then we'll go from there. That's I don't even get wrapped around the numbers anymore. I mean, I did get wrapped around the 0.25 and the zero point 0.5 just because that I knew was going to have an impact on the market, and we saw that. And it actually had a different impact. I'll be honest. I thought if they came out with a zero point 0.5, I in my mind saw that as okay. If they're kind of ripping the band-aid off, then I thought people would be like, oh, well, what's actually wrong? Why is it a 0.5 and not a 0.25? And so I thought that would be more of a bearish sentiment, and the markets took off. So what do I know? You guys are asking me questions. I don't know anything.
I will tell you, it even shocked economists. It shocked economists. Yeah. It shocked a lot of people. They were like, this should not be doing this. This should not equal this. And that was with the stock market and everything, which is it's interesting to see how it plays out, because this just goes to show, every time you think you have figured out anything and you have a plan, it's going to change. So there you go.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit before. I think there was going to be that a little bit of euphoria with them finally introducing the rate cuts, ultimately knowing that with the Fed pivot, there's bound to be a pullback. So, I'm not super surprised that actually it did go up initially, because I think, hey, everyone's excited. Oh, we got rate cuts now. But then, I think people don't really understand what happens after the Fed pivots, and that's usually a pretty substantial pullback. And so I think that's a matter of time. I looked at a chart. It takes about 100 to 120 days before you start realizing that pullback. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating. And I don't think history is going to change too much, because we've seen that. I think I saw like 8 or 9 times on the chart I was looking at. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Ultimately, is a little pullback, and that's why I'm gonna be honest. I'm really still thinking about shorting the S&P. I know it sounds crazy, but it's if we fall out of that ascending triangle, I'm probably gonna take a short.
Yeah. We'll have to look that up on the chart. Look at the chart when we come around to you. Interestingly enough, anytime that we've done 25 basis points, 25% of the time we had a recession. Anytime we've done 50 basis points, 50% of the time we had a recession still. So just a little, not causation, just correlation there, coincidence. But yeah, it is about 25% of the time that we have one with 25, 50% of the time when we have one with 50. So there you go. We have a 50% chance right now.
GDP numbers next week too, right?
Yep.
So
yep.
That's,
we sure will.
That used to be the metric back in the
back in the day. Back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Until it was too hard for the White House to do the math, and then they said, okay, let's make this simple. It'll be one when we make it up and say it is. There you go. So let's go check out the charts and see what we're seeing here. But before we hop over there, OC, you got anything on that article there with anything like that? Anything on the article? Anything on the news data? What's your thoughts on the news this week?
Oh, just just a little concept here. I think Trifly is correct. It takes a little while to for the market to realize what's happening. It's like when you go out partying with your friends to the disco, and then like somebody comes to the table and said, "Hey, I ordered champagne," right? And everybody looks there the other way around, and then everybody's just pumping till the next day that you realize that you spent more than you should have in the whole month. But other than that, I mean, right?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a great analogy. I've done that. I've been there. Like, you know what? I'll worry about this tomorrow. Drinks for everybody. Let's go. So,
Yep.
Yes.
I did that a couple weeks ago. It hasn't been
'cause
that
when
long
you
ago
get-
for me. So.
when you get into that mood, man, it doesn't matter. You're partying. You don't care. It's just let it rock, right? Let's get into the Bitcoin chart, man. Let's talk about that Bitcoin chart and see what we're seeing over there. Because I am watching a rejection. Here's what we talked about yesterday. I said, okay, guys, we have a nice little multi-divergence here. I think that we should let this come up, touch that 200. We'll probably get a rejection there. It did. It rejected back here. Then it printed another divergence there. That is a multi-bullish divergence. It came up. I was talking to Buck yesterday. I said, he's like, I missed my short. And I said, well, you can get into it if you want, or you can wait because I'm pretty sure it's going to come back up there. If you want to get into it and you have to have exposure, go for it. It's in a, this little stagnant level, but I do think it's going to come back up and touch, and it did. It came back up and touched it again, and now we have printed off another downside ribbon. I do want to point out that money flow is starting to curve over. The volume is starting to curve over, and we did make it to that 70%. You guys remember me talking about, I really would like to see this come up one more level and do that. Well, it did it finally yesterday, and so now we are ready to come down. There's that 200-day simple moving average, and that's the level that I've said we have got to get above and hold if we're going to have another bullish run anytime soon. So also looking here, guys, we did, and I talked about this yesterday also on the Trade Academy. I said, well, getting this bright green here, this typically indicates, hey, I'm tired. I'm wore out on the bullish trend, just like when we get the peach here. That means, hey, I'm getting worn out on this bearish trend. So be watching that. I think that is going to be some key levels. One first key level that I'm watching right now is 61,222. That is the 100-day simple moving average coming in right here below us, and that was where we had previous resistance. There is our resistance there, and then we've got, so it's playing the simple moving averages clean, guys. Just you got to watch them, but again, watch that level right there. That is 61,828. Let me throw on the Market Oracle Pro and see what else we got going on here. Yeah, guys, look, we got a quantum reactor and a dynamic reactor coming in right here in the 0.66 fib too. So right below that 50, guys. I think it will at least head down to about 58 over this weekend. So let's cut over to TradeFly. Let's see what dang it, I got to switch those out. Let's switch over to TradeFly, see what he's looking at on his chart, and then we'll come back around.
Right on. So I got the heat map up right now, looking at the 3-day, and you can see it is heating up all over the place right now. So we got a lot of opportunity for chasing some liquidity here. The closest alligator to the boat is this liquidity building right here. Now, this was not as hot yesterday. It was heating up as we had this price action coming up. We got a rejection, and I talked about it, and I was like, hey, the 200 SMA is up there. It makes a lot of sense for people to take leverage shorts in that position, looking or anticipating a rejection. So you guys were just talking about it right now. Piper and Buck, they were looking at a short opportunity in that area at about 64,000. So you're not the only ones, trust me. So it makes sense to see this liquidity building up here. Now, does the maker try to come up and snatch it? Or is that, hey, you guys are a little bit smarter than the norm and we see this reversal here? But you do have, what you can see is support right here at about 62.5, we'll call it. 62.6, somewhere in that range. You're getting multiple hits in that area of support. So all is not lost in terms of, maybe chasing this liquidity. And I know if you guys are talking about shorts, that's not what you want to hear. But if we break this area and we start seeing a trend down, then look at all this liquidity. I mean, you have, and this isn't really too hot, but it's still a lot of liquidity for the maker to get, right? And then ultimately, your biggest hotspot on the map here is really at about 59K. So let's come over to the chart and kind of tie that all in. Let's go to the daily. Sorry, I was messing with everything. I was resetting all my settings there because I had some crazy like thick lines. It was actually hard for me to see. So looking at this is kind of what, you know, Piper was talking about. I was talking about yesterday on the show. You got this range here of resistance. And, you know, that's for me. I said, I think this move is done. We've talked about this move. We talked about this channel at the bottom. We talked about finding support there. And we're like, hey, like until we lose that channel, you know, I'm still going to keep a bullish sentiment. We even got a breakout of this trend line here. And you see the smart target. But the thing is, I always tell you guys, get ahead of it and look at see where there's key levels of resistance. And that's usually going to be my out. So I think this move right here, for me personally, if I were to, like, I'm holding through this, just so you know. So, but if I was in this intraday or scalping, you know, not really scalping, I would say this is more of an intraday kind of trade. This would be my out. This is where I would say, okay, I'm going to take my profits because we did great, you know, grabbing something here. And then this is where I would get out. And now it's a matter of waiting for that OC retest, right? And by the way, OC, you owe me, dog. Like straight up, I have made that
Why?
like run through the content creator, like the atmosphere, whatever, man. Everyone's saying the OC retest now, so I just want to let you know I coined that phrase for you.
It's a thing.
Love you
It is
long time.
definitely a
You're
thing.
welcome. Like everyone's saying, Alex O says it. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, the OC retest. You know, so yeah, you're welcome, dog. All right, so that being said, this is where we have resistance, right? And this is when I was like, hey, there's resistance after resistance after resistance. Here we go, 200. This is a key level of horizontal resistance, right? And this is coming back left on the chart. You see this right here, resistance. You see support, resistance, breakdown. I talk to you guys about this all the time. You want to see a breakdown off of a specific level for you to be like, hey, this is important, all right? So you can look back left on the chart. I'm not going to go through all of that, but just look back left on the chart. 65.1 is a line in the sand. It's also a line in the sand for Crypto Blood. He got there a different way, but he has almost the same exact number. So again, resistance. Now you're talking about the point of control. The point of control for the whole freaking range, Scotty, is right here at about 67,000. Okay, and then you can see if you go back left on the chart. Let's see how to interact it with the point of control. Breakdown. Try to hold it. Retest. Breakdown. Support. Okay, so again, we're finding a horizontal level that is very significant for price action. That lets me know it's something important, right? So I'm expecting like it's going to be tough sledding for price action and move its way up. You're going to see a lot of rejections. I think a lot of pullbacks as it moves up. Now, it may not be a lot. So you could be like playing these ranges, right? Like hit 65, rejection. Next thing you know, point of control, rejection. Next thing you know, 2021, rejection. Like that's kind of why I'm saying this could be a scalper's paradise in terms of taking shorts on its way up. Now, you know, is it going to go up? I don't know, but this is where you're like, let price action come to you and, you know, have your orders just ready to go. Like you can have a short set here. You can have a short set here, have a short set here, have a short set here. I'm not going to say I'm willing to bet, but, you know, a betting man would probably say that you're going to hit on a couple of those. And then of course, just cover yourself with stop losses. But that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of price action on its way up. I mean, we're still looking okay. I mean, you haven't seen the oscillator on the daily bend over yet, but it is getting to that point where we're going to start talking about being overbought. It's probably going to need to reset here soon. And honestly, even looking at the candle structure on the daily right now, if this holds up, you got 9 hours left or 10 hours left. If this holds up, you know, this is a bearish candle right here. It's showing you the selling pressure.
I also want to point out that that would be a continuation of a lower high too. So be prepared, be aware, and be prepared.
If you zoom out, yes. So it just depends on the way you look at it, right? If you zoom out, it is a continuation. You are correct, but it has broken out of this. We had a trend, we got a breakout, and if you take it on a shorter time frame, you are seeing a very bullish structure. So I would not be surprised to see price action pull back to the dynamic reactor because the dynamic reactor has been fire, right? It has held up as support or it has acted as resistance over and over again. Now you have confluence. You have confluence right here. And I love seeing things like this. I love seeing the pattern, right? You have the top side of that pattern. You have the dynamic reactor. You have VWAP all lining up in one area. So how does that play into liquidity? Because I think liquidity, if I remember correctly, is really at about 58, 59. So 59, there you go, 58 all the way down. All right, so let's look at it again. So again, cross-reference the map, right? Let's go. All right, 59, right about where VWAP is. So just underneath the VWAP. So that would make a lot of sense, right? You come down, retest these areas, and then look for a bounce. Now, the other thing I did yesterday that got me was I took a little fib, the retracement here. All right. So we came off, got that nice little bounce and support level. And I started looking at this and I was like, man, so now let's add a little bit of confluence here. You got the 382. And then where we found support here, we have the 0.5. So that in my mind is areas that are in play, right? There's just a lot going on in this area right now. So the short-term play is what Buck and Piper were looking at, is a little bit of a rejection right here in this area. I would probably take it down to the dynamic reactor just above probably the 0.236, and that would be my exit if I was doing a scalp or an intraday type trade. Quick hitter, take your money and run. What is this? I think you guys were playing about 64. So that's a nice 3.89% move. When you put a little bit of leverage on that, that's a nice trade. So, good on you guys. I think that's going to work out well for you, because I do ultimately think there's going to be a little bit of a pullback. We need it, right? Comes in waves. That's why I always say LBC, the Lunar Beaches crypto, baby. It comes in waves. You ride the waves, man. And when I say that, up, cool off, up, cool off, up, cool off. So that's kind of what I look for. And the trend, again, the trend is your friend until the end. I'm big on that. You guys know that. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. And if you want to know, like, hey, if this all breaks down and goes to poo poo, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Zoom out, look on the weekly until we get a close underneath of this channel right here, which goes back to like 2020 or 2021, way back. We're all good. We're all Gucci. But we get under this channel, then we start talking Piper bearish news. I got the sound effect. Yeah, there you go. Then we start talking a different story. Okay. So, but even then, you still have this little range right here where you saw it break through, retest that channel in about 52K. So you got some hopium if you do break this channel. But I will say on the weekly, if we break, I'm out. I'm saying, there's more downside. And again, you've heard me beat this up as well. Massive cup and handle on the weekly. Unbelievable. Like, this could be crazy talk when you start talking about numbers and measured moves off of this. You also have a bull flag here. So there's a lot of hopium. And that's why, in the short term, I think, hey, you're going to get some rejections here, a little bit of a cool off. It's due. And just looking at the pattern. But in the long term, I'm still bullish. And so that's kind of where I stand with Bitcoin. The problem that we have right now is the economy. That's the big kicker, right? We have bullish structure for Bitcoin, yet we have a bearish economy. I think we have too many things lining up for us right now, saying that, hey, like, we're due for a cool off on the economy, or a pullback, or a recession, whatever you want to call it. There's just too many factors that are lining up outside of it externally. So it's a really weird dynamic to be bullish on crypto, yet bearish on where we're headed with the economy. And so, like, that's the thing that I don't know that we've really seen that either, like with Bitcoin.
Right? I don't know either. No.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it stands the test of time. But I'll tell you who believes, and this gives me a little bullish feeling, is BlackRock. They've come out and said it outright. Hey, Bitcoin might be that hedge against the crazy crap that's going on in the world. So, if BlackRock's saying it,
don't they have to say it? Isn't that their job to entice and give security to the
100%.
mentality of investors? I mean, that's their job, is to pump people's hopium, really, so that they will invest. Their company's completely dependent upon hopium sentiment. So
yes, but what BlackRock's job is to do is make money. It don't matter how they do it. It's to make money. And that's what BlackRock is good at. So pump the markets, pump the people's hopium, do whatever they have to do, because ultimately what it comes down to is their bottom line. And that gives me hope, with Bitcoin. And you see it, man. I'm turning into a maxi, baby. I'm turning into a maxi. I got it. little chill here. Let's go.
Bro.
Rocco, what's
Man,
up, my
I'm
Shout
dude?
doing
out.
Also, I was
fine.
gonna get this hoodie, by the
Come on,
way. This
OC. Where's your
hoodie is
Bitcoin
dope.
shirt?
This
Hey,
hoodie's dope. So
shout out to
what's up?
Max H. That's Mr. Man in our Discord community. Shout out to him. He was talking in here about some levels. He said he's in a 150x short right now, head and shoulders on the 1
Ooh,
hour.
wild
So
man.
maybe OC, you can look at the 1 hour and see, look at that head and shoulders here in a second. And then Bit Innuendo, he said, what's worse, Piper bearish or BitBoy bullish? Just
Oh
kidding, man.
no,
Love you
I'm
too.
aligning
Yeah.
with BitBoy.
But guys, if you haven't smashed that like button yet, if you haven't done that yet, then please do so, because right now we got we're a little short. Well, those are rookie numbers.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Got to get those likes up, guys. OC, let's kick it over to you. Let's take a look and see what you're seeing on your chart, because and please take a look at that head and shoulders, because I'm pretty sure there's an OC retest somewhere in there. So.
By the way, thank you so much, Redfly. I really appreciate. I think I've drilled that enough into your brain, my friend, and everybody here that is not about the breakout, some of the retest that finally is spreading out. Thank you for helping that out. Something I'm looking at here, it is that we got into my next reversal channel here, right? This is a manual box that I drew yesterday, and as you can see, we had two opportunities. I was asleep, therefore I wasn't able to jump in. And why am I also bringing this up? Because at this point, are you willing to enter into a short? I would say not at this point. I would right here, because I can still go back in here, because it's not about the breakout. It's about the retest. And remember, previous resistance becomes new support. And if we can hold this area, and I'm calling the area, not the line at the top, not the line at the bottom, but somewhere around this area. And you will say, well, see, how can I actually tell for sure? Well, when you start seeing flip of the ribbon, right? When we start seeing that momentum coming back up, right? So when you see that at support, and this whole thing is support, well, then you know you should be allocating some stuff in here. So this will redefine where we can be getting out, because as you can see previously, when we had hit, we have not hold that area. And this, my friend, will be a breakout retest continuation from the Wyckoff chart that we've been looking at. So other than that, I mean, I'm pretty excited, but still remember, you need to consider your worst case scenario. And for me, that will be shorting it right now and then bouncing back up. All right. So at this point, I'm just gonna be just chill, and maybe I'll just see what happens today at night. I'll be playing maybe Halo cards or something. If you guys want to join me and looking at the charts in the night. Moving to the 1 hour, let's see what we got in here. And by the way, I have not looked at the 1 hour. It's been called for a possible head and shoulders. At this point, let me see that for me, it's a little bit hard to look at. And let's go to a cleaner chart here. Oops. All right. A big mosquito just biting me. Sorry about that. Let's go to a cleaner chart. Here we go. I think this is much better. All right. So what I do see, it's a double topping here, right? Maybe if we start, I don't know, let me know. Maybe if we start looking at this as a base, we could be start calling this the head and shoulders with a very cricket area. If that is the case, we are on critical areas at the neckline, or maybe if you're looking for maybe this shoulder, head, and then the last shoulder to break down, still, this is going to be a key area. I would just need to change a slightly bit how that neckline plays out, but as you can see, it doesn't make that much of a difference, right? We're still within the same area. So I think that regardless, it seems to me that we are breaking. Let me just reload this to see what's going on. By the way, if you ever had this on TradingView, just change whatever and then let it reload. That reallocates RAM. There we go. We are breaking through the zero line and we're going down. Remember what I mentioned, breaking to support, breaking to the zero line. That is a continuation on a possible short, right? Still, am I going to short here? Maybe on a lower time frame, I could, but since we have an upcoming class, I will not be doing that unless I need to, right? But also something interesting, it is how fast will this ribbon be moving. If you see it moving faster than the price action, well, then hold your horses, because we could be having an early bounce of the ribbon, right? So just look also how fast is that ribbon increasing on length. to reach the bottom like that. All right. Prices to look at if you're shorting this at the breakout. I would rather wait for this support because we also have the same bugs that I was expecting, right? So breakout, retest. Remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go for a continuation to the dynamic reactor. So the first target will be 62.93. The next one for what I could be considering a re-entry will be somewhere around 62.800, somewhere around those areas, right? And finally, taking profits between 61 and 6,700. So that's what I got on the 1 hour. Turning back to you guys.
Awesome. Let me jump over here. Let me see if I can get Tradefly on here with us. We need Tradefly. We need him in here with us too. Tradefly, let me get you set up, bro. I'm gonna get you in here. We're gonna make this Science Theater 3000 style here. We'll get the green screen, transparent. There we go, and no border for you. And there we go. All right, here we go. This is going to be Science Theater 3000. Let's pull Tradefly in here with us. And then we'll pull, there we go. We got Science Theater 3000 going on, guys. Check this article out. Bitcoin miner wallets awaken after over 15 years. Is this Satoshi? This article dropping this morning, guys. 5 miner wallets that received block rewards weeks after Bitcoin launched have started moving their coins. Wallets belonging to early Bitcoin miners who received coins as rewards shortly after the blockchain's launch by its pseudonymous creator Satoshi Nakamoto have recently been observed moving their Bitcoin. On September 20th, 5 miner wallets that received 50 Bitcoin each as a block reward in 2009 started to move their funds. Blockchain data shows that one wallet received the mining reward on January 29th, 2009, while 3 received their block rewards on January 31st, 2009. The last wallet received a block reward on February 2nd. So these are literally the first week of the blockchain launch of Bitcoin, guys. They received those. It was like they were test wallets or something, right? Like it's really strange wallets to awaken. The Bitcoin blockchain went live on January 3rd. So there you go. The first one got his on one wallet on January 29th. So this is within a couple of weeks of the actual launch of the blockchain. When Nakamoto mined the Genesis block and embedded a message referencing a headline published by the Times newspaper in the UK on January 9, 2009, the Bitcoin creator explained the protocol's basics and including how to mine and send coins. Given that the Bitcoin was mined only weeks after the launch of the Bitcoin blockchain, the wallets likely belong to people present at its inception. These are people that, even if they are not Satoshi Nakamoto's, they definitely knew exactly who Satoshi Nakamoto was or who the group was, whatever it may be. Mined Bitcoin goes from 0 to 15.9 million. When the 250 Bitcoin in the wallets was first mined, it wasn't worth much, if anything. However, Bitcoin reached $1 in 2011, and now the defunct crypto exchange Mt. Gox on there is when it reached that, and then months later, Nakamoto bid farewell to the crypto space and expressed a desire to move to other projects. So, interesting how this is playing out. The crypto community reacts to the Bitcoin movement as it moved. The movements were flagged. Community members speculated who was moving the tokens. One ex-user said that someone could have found their old hard drive and hit the lottery after seeing the Bitcoin, while another user suggested that it could be someone who was in a coma and woke up as a millionaire. All kinds of jokes and trolling going on around the space. But some users think that the wallets may belong to Nakamoto or the American software developer Hal Finney, who has been rumored to be Satoshi Nakamoto many times before. The world's first Bitcoin transaction took place on January 12, 2009, when the creator of Bitcoin sent 10 Bitcoin to Finney, one of the earliest adopters of Bitcoin. So let's jump over here. That article is tinfoil hat OC in the house. I love it. That's a really, like, these are early. We've heard about old wallets, they called them zombie wallets that had never moved Bitcoin. We heard about that, but now we're hearing legacy wallets that are definitively people that Satoshi Nakamoto knew. And because if they had just been test wallets that weren't connected to any body, just Satoshi Nakamoto made wallets and then sent it, those wouldn't have the ability to move. These are people that knew the keys that have the ability to move this stuff. So TradeFly, we'll go with you first, and then we'll come around to Tinfoil Hat Guy and see what he has to say about TF Guy. That's what he's going to be called when he's got the hat on. What do you think about this legacy wallets just moving Bitcoin out of nowhere, and what does it mean?
I mean, it's really hard to say what that actually means, to be honest with you. They've held it for quite some time. Now, I would not be surprised to see people at some point take profits, right? Like, you've held on to it for 15 years. How much longer you want to diamond hand this? Because you got to think too, I would take a guess and think that those people are probably at this point, what, 30s, 40s, maybe even older, so that's maybe they have things they want to buy in life. Who knows? I mean, it's a lot of speculation to say why somebody would be moving, because you don't know like how smart they are with the economy. They're probably sitting, looking at millions of dollars and saying, it's time. It's time to buy a sweet house, pay it off, and, enjoy, getting lucky and hitting the lottery on this Bitcoin thing. So, the other thing I'm seeing in the chat is everyone's saying Retro Mike Tech is the one moving the wallets around. So, thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, I love it. So shout
really
out
don't
to
know, man.
BC Port Court said they're only up like 15,000. No, actually 11.8 million%. That's what they are up. And that is going off of the lowest Bitcoin it has on charts, because guess what? It really doesn't go back further than that, sadly. We're talking months before even the first reported Bitcoin candle on TradingView. So they're up like
they're staring at
11.8 million%.
3.15 million. That one wallet that has 50 Bitcoin in it. 3.15 million is what they're looking at. So, I mean,
It's
you hit the
ridiculous.
jackpot, bro.
I'm just saying. All right, TF guy, tinfoil hat OC. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this? Why is this moving now, and what does this mean? So,
here's the thing, and it's some food for thought. And I know nobody knows this, right? Because there's so many paths that this can go. So we're talking about guys that, as you mentioned, they're, I mean, hundreds upon hundred of percent up, right? How much money was that worth? I mean, any other person, I don't know, would maybe scheme a little bit for a down house payment, maybe scheme a little bit for a new job opportunity, maybe scheme a little bit just for, I don't know, improving life or something like that. But we see not actually that happen. We see it, they just hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it. Something that is just to put into a drawer for now, right? Let's close that drawer for just a little bit and then open up a new box. This new box, it is all right. So Satoshi Nakamoto, we like to think of him as a real world Peter Pan. Well, not Peter Pan. I would say this guy with the arrows that wreck everybody. It has its own broker. What is the name of it?
An exchange?
Yeah, like the one that brings justice, that steals from the rich and gives to the
Robin
poor.
Hood. Robin Hood.
There you go, that one. So, that completely went. Just the tinfoil hat. Sorry, let me just.
Yeah, you're blocking the brainwaves there.
Yes. So, we like to think of him as a real world Robin Hood, right? And I do stand by that idea. The thing is in here. Is Robin Hood in real life will actually steal from the money? How would he steal from money and give to the people? Yeah. And I would say either wrecking the economy like anarchist, right? Or just giving away money. And I don't think giving away money will be it. Why would he maybe wreck the economy? Because that way he can get cheaper Bitcoin and then bring the equilibrium back, forcing big enterprises that are holding hostage Bitcoin and give it to the public, right? So at the end of it all, if you go bankruptcy, you can always get a job. If a company goes bankruptcy, they disappear, right? And they need to start from scratch, but at the end of it all, they will not have the same purchasing power, and then maybe the balance on Bitcoin will be restored. Remember that his idea was to balance between big economy depressions like 2001, where he lost everything that he had, right? And I believe that is a group of people, not a single guy that came up with this idea. The thing is in here, what do you guys think? This is the movement. I think it's a statement that is, hey, fear me, I'm here, and I'm still alive.
Could be. You know, some people, hey, this was a powerful thing. This is one of the most powerful currencies to ever be created. And I just want to remind you, it was super easy to make, and I'm still here. Don't make me make another game, right? Shout out to Crux of Crypto. He said this may have been test wallets, and I think that too. If they had just sat there for years. But the fact that it's moving right now means that it's not just a test wallet that he shot it out into the ether and said, let's let it sit there. Somebody has access to these keys. So it is very interesting to see. We'll never know. We will never know who it is, but those individuals absolutely know 100% in my mind. They know who Satoshi Nakamoto is or was as a group. So interesting enough, though. Let's get into some of these.
Retro Mike Tech's comment?
No, what do you say?
He said, "Move it before unrealized gain tax kicks in. Better to generate a new." Yeah,
that is very possible.
Yeah.
That is some smart thinking there. Some smart thinking. I like Retro Mike, man. That dude's so smart. Let's go check out some charts, guys. We got a little list going here, and we got about well, wow, it is time has flown by. Let's quickly go through that. I do want to show you guys gold. Because gold, we had this level back here, guys, and I talked about this. I do too. Talked about this a while back ago that we were going to be heading up to that phase 4 golden pocket because we had gotten all of our bounces off this. We were continuing testing that 50-day. This was our little local level of resistance. Now we're heading up to there. Gold right now at another all-time high. So people are risk off and into gold. Let's go ahead and kick it over to UTradeFly. Let's run through these altcoins.
So looking at Pole, Polygon Matic on the daily right now, chart looks ugly, to be honest with you. Not a huge fan of this right now. You see the dynamic reactor on the daily is just down and right very consistently, kind of about a 30, 45 degree angle here. I don't like to see that, and you haven't been able to break through it. So it would give me a lot of pause. One thing you do need to see is get on top of the VWAP here and maintain that. What I do like in terms of like if I'm looking at this for a potential play on Pole is that, hey, you got some bullish divergence here. Price action was coming down, and you got to hit a bullish divergence right here. So that could have been maybe a quick opportunity. You did have some bullish news right here. This wick right here is some bullish news. I forgot what exactly it was. I think it was they had a deal that was in place, and so you saw a nice little move up, but it quickly retraced, right? People, looks like they took profits very quickly to try to save anything that they could, would be my guess. But that being said, even if you push up, I think high side is probably going to be about 52 cents here. But that's a nice move. That's a really, really nice move. I mean, I think it's due for a retest of that area, but I ultimately, just because of the whole setup and looking at the structure of this, it's just coming down and right. That's a very speculative, play for Pole right now. And so until we see the trend actually reverse, I would be very, very careful here. I wouldn't be able to, in good conscience, take a long. This would be a total speculative gamble, and it could work out. Don't get me wrong; it could totally work out because this is when you buy in places like this, you have that opportunity. But again, this is a casino game when you're buying in places like this because there's nothing that shows us that this is going to reverse. All right. The only thing that you have to hang your hat on with Pole is that they have really good deals in place. There's a lot of retail that they have. So you're really more playing the fundamentals and everything else that Polygon has going on. You're not really playing the charts here. So I just want to leave you with that. If it does push up, I would be looking at a potential short opportunity at about 52 cents or so, just based on the dynamic reactor. And we have yet to break that. And that's been since April of 24. So it's a long time to maintain this trend here. And, that's kind of what I'd be looking at. But you got to see this reverse before you start jumping back in on pole. And again, you got to get over this dynamic reactor. Now you see the 200 coming in, so you do have some resistance to play with here. I just, it would be hard for me to say, hey, take a flyer on pole right now. This is just not one of those places. And again, there's potential there, but you're gambling, and the chart looks ugly. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing I can say to you to be like, hey, this looks okay, because you could keep drawing fibs on here and do all kinds of craziness, but the trend is very, very clear down and right. So be very, very careful with pole. I won't say, man, that's tough, dude. Like there's times too where you would go back and be like, hey, like set a stop loss. Like if you're like looking at an area like this, we see very like significant horizontal levels of support, and then you get underneath of it and you're retesting that. That's terrifying, right? Like this right here. Let me draw this trend line, and this is a lot of why I've kind of separated myself a little bit from Matic. I'm sure you guys can tell, is that it just looks ugly, right? Look at this. Once it breaks down and it's retesting and it can't get over where there's very clear support levels, this is now resistance. With all of this coming down and right, like that's where I'm like, this is ugly. And like, I don't know that I would even get back in until we get back to that level. That's how big a move it has to make for me to actually be interested in Polygon again, which is crazy. 87%. So you miss all of that. You miss all of it. But I wouldn't feel good about Polygon until we got back and reclaimed this area for me to say, okay, like now I'm interested again, which is, it's kind of wild to think about. But look, your upside potential is still at $1, $2, $3. So that's what I'm looking at Matic. Sorry, I know I'm Captain Jack Matic, and you guys expect more for Matic from me, but I can't in good conscience tell you to go long on Matic right now.
There you go. There you have it. Let's kick it over to you, OC. Quick look at we're at the bottom of the hour, but quick look at whatever you're going to look at, and then I'm going to bring up Cass, and then we'll bring it back here and talk it out.
Absolutely. So I just want to talk very quick to Injective. It's been playing out almost exactly as we have talked about. Remember that these lines are manually been drawing, and I have been drawing them from the whole week. So we're at the top of that area, basically bouncing back down. We are still above the zero line, so that is meaningful, right? That means that we are still have enough momentum to maybe just regain some strength, right? What I'm going to be looking for, it is a lower high. At this point, I think that I could actually see maybe that cleaner head and shoulder just playing out in here. So maybe that's what I'm going to be looking for. Maybe a couple of one or two candles just going back down, and maybe 1, 2, 3, or even 4 candles before we start turning around, making a lower high right there. So if that is the case, just take a look at where the neckline is going to be. Most likely it's going to go between this point, and maybe whatever else point we're going to be making, something along those lines. And yeah, I mean, it's still, even if it's not, and this is just a broadening wedge or a megaphone, just keep an eye on this area for resistance. Sorry, for support. If we break it, well, then I guess we're going to be going to the dynamic reactor. So far, let's just bring up another tooling here. So all of the reactors are all the way back down here. So we could be even shooting, overshooting a little bit lower. Let me bring up, there we go, another pattern. And once again, we see that confluence coming down. So I'm going to just adjust my area of entry right here at this zone. So other than that, turn it back to you guys.
Awesome. Let's jump over here. Let's check out Casper real fast, guys. Had a request for this. Right now, here looking at the 12-hour, we did get a rejection here yesterday off of that quantum reactor. And this is part of the chart prime suite. Perfect rejection there. It's been our resistance here going back, let's see, all the way to about the 14th. So about a week now. It's been our resistance here. We're currently setting on the 100-day simple moving average. Right underneath that is our point of control going all the way back to this fixed volume range node back here, guys. I am going to be watching for Caspa to come back. My level of support that I'm going to watch on. Now, mind you, we do have a 50-day down here. We do have the dynamic reactor, but I've got this little box right here. This is a resistance or support zone that I'm watching. It was previously resistance, but you can see this level has played a lot. It is on this phase 8 0.618. It's phase 8 golden pocket, and that is coming in at about 16.1 cents. If we lose that, guys, we've got to go and watch for that 200-day simple moving average. It's coming at about 15.1 right below. Looking here at the Oscillator Pro Plus, guys, we do have money flow coming down right now. That is this line of this wave of money flow. It's coming down. The true sevens coming down. Oscillators coming down. We did get a hidden bearish divergence, and we did get this little pump up here on volume, but now it's starting to flatten out and gray out. I am expecting this to all point to the downside, and that would give us a little more of that likelihood that we're going to break past this 16.1 and come down here to about the 15-cent range on Caspa. So that's what I have there. I got one question before we go, because Randy Hipper's not live right now. She's not going live until 9 a.m. this morning, our time, which is going to be 11 a.m. On the East Coast. So we got a minute. If they were to find out who had these wallets, do you think that the federal government, Congress, and all these people would be more focused on getting their information, their identity, so that they could tax and get money and whatever from this Bitcoin, or to find out under oath who the hell is Satoshi Nakamoto so that they could track that down? What do you think Congress care about more? The money valuation of their crypto, or the fact that they have to know who Satoshi is?
Let me ask you a question, and also it goes for the alumni. What would you rather like? And I've been asked this question once. Long story. I would not get into it, but it was a pretty scary situation. What would you rather have? Power or money? And I think if you know a little bit on how politics works.
According to Washington, D.C., power gets you money.
Exactly. Yes. So, and as you mentioned, knowledge is power, right? Or knowledge is profits. So I think it will be a chess game at this point. So I absolutely think that maybe not all of them it's revealed, but at least higher entities of the U.S. government knows the majority, or at least 90% of who they are and how it came to be. And they might be leveraging for future possible scenarios. I don't think taxing them will be beneficial, because at the end of it all, they're going to ruin the surprise factor and also all of the influence that they could have. I mean, at the end of it all, remember like a couple of months ago when you asked if you should be voting for one president, it tell you should be taking it twice when you ask Alexa, right? And then when you ask it about the other candidate, give you all of the good stuff that why you should be voting for her. Well, then, exactly. And that is well known. I mean, Facebook came up clean. So power, it is what strangled people. We always are bombarded and getting manipulated. If you think you're not, think it twice, because every piece of information is designed for you to think one way. But yeah, I mean, I'll leave it at that. TradeFly, where is this?
Nah, I mean, I don't really have any argument there. I think you guys are kind of hitting the hammer on the head there. So yeah, more power, more money, right?
That's right.
But more money, more problems is what I heard.
Yeah.
Crux said Bitcoins should not be treated as property. Michael Saylor would argue that. He says Bitcoin is digital Manhattan. So I don't know. I don't know. Guys, that's all we got time for today. If you
realize the gains on it, it has to be.
It has to be. Yeah.
You traded it.
Yep. It's true. I'd rather it be property than security. I'm just going to put that out there. So, guys, that's all we got time for today. We appreciate you all joining us. And then also, guys, we're going to be back here next week. I got a lot of big stuff coming next week. Next Wednesday, myself, Crux of Crypto, and TradeFly are all going to be on here with a special episode. We are going to be live with the COO and the first sergeant of Grunt Style Clothing, and he is going to be bringing a perspective from the retail manufacturing side about what the economy has been like for them. We're going to do a whole interview with him, and it's going to be amazing. He's a former veteran in the military. He was a Marine Corps. Buck set all this up, so shout out to Buck. But yeah, he's going to be coming on and doing an interview with me, Tradefly, and Crux of Crypto, and we're going to be asking him about his perspective, his insight of what he's seen within the economy from a retail perspective. They're a pretty major company. If you don't know, we're going to have the links to stuff, but it's grunt style clothing. So looking forward to that. And then also I'm working on getting Cohen's on as a guest. If you guys don't know who Cohen's is, an amazing YouTuber, master of Elliott waves, and he's going to be coming on and talking about his Elliott wave perspectives, all the scenarios he's seeing that could play out on the 1 2 3 4 5 with ABC and the 1 2 1 2s and the XYZs, and breaking it all down for us. The guy knows his stuff, so we're going to be having him come on also. It's going to be really, really good. But all this is next week, though, guys. So thanks for joining us today. Tradefly, OC, thank you guys for joining me today. Tell these people something on the way out here if you guys got anything for them, and then we'll wrap this up and run.
Hey, I'll keep it quick. We know we're all dying for OC to tell us what's going to happen when we smash that like button. So with that being said, everyone have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Do your damn thing. Go hit that button, please. And catch us next Monday, Crypto Nightcap, 8:30. We're trying to outdo the morning show here, and we are nipping at the heels, baby. We're nipping at the heels. So we did have some audio issues yesterday, but we're gonna get those fixed. So, all right, with that, I'm out. Trade safe. See you Monday.
Boom shakalaka!
Guys, thank you so much for joining today. Quick reminder to click that like button, because if you do remember that, we all have that friend, right, in the party that make you go crazy. It's a great night until you wake up and you find out your empty wallet because you spend it all. So if you don't have that friend, click the like button because you are that friend. So it's just amazing. Amazing times, post and after, pre and after party. So click that like button. Enjoy being who you are.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll be back here next Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Morning Market Report. Going to be coming on right after Good Morning Crypto. Catch all the content right here on Piper Academy. Until then, guys, trade safe. Consider being a Bitcoin maxi. And as always, use a stop loss. Later, guys. Have a great weekend.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, Crux Crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!